Hey everyone, Derek here from WayScript. In this one, let's take a look at how we can instantaneously update a file and share it with others all using a link. Let's get started. For this example, let's say that we have a Google Doc that we want to do some processing on its data. Then, when a user visits a link, we want to download a Microsoft Excel file to their computer. Let's see how we can build this using WayScript. We'll start out by clicking on Create a new script. We'll call this one Google Sheets to Excel File Download Template and click on Create. Since we want a user to be able to visit a URL to download our Microsoft Excel file, our first step is to create an HTTP trigger. This will give us access to that URL that we can send to the user. Let's go to Packages, and if you want to find all triggers, we can click on this All drop-down and select Triggers. From here, we can see them all. So let's use the HTTP trigger and drag it in as the trigger for our step. What this does is create a URL that we can use in our program. There's also some other settings that we can use here, such as password protection, and we can get query parameters from this URL as well. We could use those query parameters to do specific actions within our workflow. But for this example, let's keep it simple and just use this URL. Our next step is to bring in the data that we want. Since this example we're using Google Sheets, we'll use the Google Sheets module. We'll click on Add Step and type in Google. We'll get the Sheets module, and it will be the next step in our workflow. You don't have to use Google Sheets, as we also have plenty of other data storage modules you can use, such as SQL databases and Airtables. Filling out the settings of my Google Sheets, let's read in a specific file. I'll use this one. Whenever we click Import Column, we see that that column is created as a list type variable in our WayScript program. We can use this variable throughout our workflow, so we'll write this to Excel and then return it to that link. Now we'll import the second column as well. Just like in a programming language, since we're working with a list type here, let's loop through these using the loop module, and we'll write each one of these iterations to an Excel sheet. We'll loop over column 0, and these were names. And then we'll loop over column 1, and these were scores. And we want to write each iteration to an Excel sheet. We can go up to All, we'll type in Excel, and drag this into our loop. For the settings on this one, we'll choose Write File. The file that I'll write is called example.xlsx. We'll replace the file, and then we can choose the variables that we want to write. We have 2 in this case, so we'll choose names, and then we can choose scores. So far, we've created a URL, and whenever a user goes to that URL, our program activates. We go to Google Sheets, get the data that we want, and then we iterate over all those values and write them to Excel. Now, we just need to return that user a file download of this Excel file. We can do that using the HTTP response. We'll give a response code of 200, and the response type, instead of HTML, will be a file download. Then we can choose the file that we want the user to download. Ours is example.xlsx. Finally, if we want to activate our script, we need to turn the trigger on. Now we can share this link with others, and they can download our Excel file. So when we visit that link, we see that a file was downloaded, and we can open it up using Excel. Once it opens, we see that we have all the data that we expected in this Excel file. And it's as simple as that. That's all we have for you this time. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please let us know and we'll get back to you. Until next time.